It's more than likely, Tsietsi, that you're being described up and down the country at the moment as a communist.
There is no truth in that as far as I'm concerned. It is just that in South Africa, if you're not doing what the government expects you to do, then you are a communist, of course.
As we interviewed Tsietsi Mashinini, the news came in of how successful the students' plan had been.
It makes me very happy, very happy.
Tsietsi Mashinini was born on January 27, 1957 in central western Jabavu, Soweto. Mashinini entered a world shaped by a vibrant community and family bonds. He was the second son of Ramotibi, a devoted lay preacher in the Methodist Church, and Nomkita Mashinini. Growing up as one of 13 siblings, including 11 brothers and twin sisters, Tsietsi immersed himself in the Methodist faith, taking on the role of chairperson for the Methodist Wesley Youth Guild by the age of 16. Mashinini's educational journey kicked off in 1963 at the Amajeli crash before progressing through Tsietsi Lower Primary and Itsepang Higher Primary. In 1971, he began attending Morris Isaacson High School, where his passion for reading blossomed. This enthusiasm was nurtured by Abramo Tiro, a history and English teacher at Morrison Isaacson, who had been expelled from the University of the North for his political activism. Tiro played a pivotal role in influencing Mashinini's political awareness, guiding him towards the path of Black consciousness and providing him with an array of enlightening reading materials. As Mashinini delved into the histories of African struggles, American slavery, human rights movements in the US, and the injustices of apartheid, he emerged as the chairperson of the school's debate team, showcasing his academic prowess and gaining respect among his peers. Mashinini's vibrant personality shone through his extracurricular activities, where he showcased an impressive array of talents. He dabbled in theater, baseball, martial arts, swimming, and even ballroom dancing. Mrs. Bernadette Musala, a former teacher, recalled his infectious ambition and undeniable charm. He had real potential in the theater and sought help for his productions. Tsietsi aimed high and refused to play second fiddle. He was a striking young man, and the girls were drawn to his confidence. As a spirited teenager, Mashinini embraced the fashion of the day, adopting an African-American style that reflected the counterculture of the hippie movement. Flaunting an Afro hairstyle, bell-bottom trousers, and high-heeled shoes, he radiated a lively social energy. Involved in the South African students' movement, which aimed to help students transition from matric to university, Mashinini played a crucial role in advancing student rights. On June 13, 1976, around 500 students from Soweto gathered at the Orlando Donaldson Community Hall to strategize how to join forces against the oppressive Department of Bantu Education. Their resolve culminated in a peaceful protest march on June 16, targeting the imposition of Afrikaans as a medium of instruction. With a fierce sense of leadership, Mashinini was elected chairperson of the newly formed Action Committee, which later became the Soweto Students' Representative Council, where he served as the inaugural president, though he would later pass the torch to Khotso Sitlolo from Naledi High School. Together with fellow representative Mefu Morobe from Morris Isaacson High School, Mashinini was at the forefront of the student movement, amplifying the voice of his generation in the struggle for justice and equality. On the morning of June 16, at Morris Isaacson High School, Mashinini took the podium, igniting a powerful wave of unity among students as they burst into song and marched out of the school grounds towards their designated gathering point for a significant demonstration. They weren't alone. Students from various Soweto schools joined the surge, swelling the ranks to an estimated 20,000 clad in uniforms, all marching in solidarity for a cause greater than themselves. As they made their way, they encountered a formidable police barricade blocking their path. Undeterred, Mashinini climbed onto a makeshift platform delivering an impassioned address that urged fellow students to march peacefully, maintain order, and avoid any provocation towards the police. However, that peaceful atmosphere turned into chaos as South African police unleashed live ammunition on the unarmed protesters. This horrific act transformed Mashinini into an instant hero and a key activist on the national stage. He exhibited remarkable bravery, standing firm against government oppression, continuing to issue press statements, championing class boycotts, and condemning the police brutal actions that day, which led to the tragic loss of innocent lives. As the president of the South African Student Representative Council, Mashinini was vocal on behalf of both the organization and the wider student body. He called for solidarity, organized class boycotts, and spread crucial information, while simultaneously using his platform to denounce the state's violent repression. In response to the tragic events of June 16, he proclaimed, "We seen it as an official declaration of war on black students by our so-called peace officers." Mashinini soon became public enemy to the system, particularly garnering outrage from hostile residents. Police frequently descended upon his home, seeking to arrest him. On 2 occasions, he evaded capture by disguising himself in women's clothing, earning him a notoriety that placed him among the country's most wanted fugitives. A 500 Rand reward was offered for information leading to his arrest. Colonel Veza of the Soweto Criminal Investigations Department even appealed to Mashinini to surrender, warning him that his safety was at risk from hostile dwellers angered by the unrest. Veza urged that it would be best for his parents to bring him in to mitigate the danger, asserting, "We believe Mashinini is active around Soweto and other townships, but we have never been able to track him down. If you see him or know where he is, report him to the nearest police station." The events of June 16, 1976 catalyzed a significant surge of youth rallying around the African National Congress and its military wing, Umkhonto weSizwe. This momentum would eventually escalate into aggressive mass actions and widespread international boycotts against the oppressive apartheid regime in South Africa. The intense scrutiny faced by Tsietsi Mashinini forced him to flee South Africa. In August 1976, he escaped to Botswana, where he spent several months before heading further west across Africa. He gained attention of various heads of state, including Sekou Toure of Ivory Coast, and was received by African parliamentarians. His exile included a brief stay in Nigeria, where he found refuge at the Presidential Guest House in Lagos. During this period, Mashinini became a vocal advocate for South Africa's plight, granting interviews to numerous media outlets and addressing university students about the harsh realities of the political situation back home. Eventually, Mashinini settled in Liberia, where he married Walma Campbell, the daughter of a local parliamentarian, in 1978. The couple welcomed 2 daughters, Nomkita, named in honor of his mother, and Tembi. Sadly, the marriage came to an end a few years later. Throughout his time in exile, Mashinini also visited the UK and the US, where he took stage at the United Nations to denounce the brutalities of the apartheid regime. Interestingly, despite his significant impact, he did not affiliate with any of the established liberation movements during his time abroad. Tsietsi Mashinini will always be remembered as a courageous warrior and a student leader whose legacy remains a cornerstone of the South African Revolution. One notable admirer was Miriam Makeba, his fellow compatriot who was also in exile in Guinea. She had graciously offered him a place to stay in her home just prior to his untimely death under mysterious circumstances in 1990. Following a brutal attack that left him hospitalized with serious injuries, he passed away just days later. The state of his body was disturbing. His left eye was missing, there was bleeding from his left ear, and the deep bruises on his face included a prominent scar on his forehead. At Mashinini's funeral, which took place at Amphitheatre Stadium in Jabulani, Soweto, Professor Itumeleng Musala, former president of the Azanian People's Organization, remarked, "The students of 1976 took the struggle from the classroom to the streets. The students of today take the struggle from the streets into the classroom." Leaders from the June 16 uprising praised Mashinini's profound impact on shaping the country's history. His epitaph reads, "At the height of struggle, he gave impetus to the liberation struggle. Even in death, his memory faced challenges. His tombstone in Avalon Cemetery, Soweto, was vandalized twice, leading to the removal of the marble stone." In a posthumous tribute on April 27, 2011, South African President Jacob Zuma honored Tsietsi Mashinini with the Order of Luthuli in gold. This award recognized his inspirational leadership among the youth, his sacrifice in the fight against Afrikaans as a medium of instruction, and his enduring role in the struggle against apartheid.